Aloha everyone, this is Mitchell Ornalis again, and this is another journal entry into our Indigenous Minded YouTube channel. It is Sunday. It is almost the end of time before the new week, but I wanted to still get this video in, better late than never. Just want to talk about a little bit of what I did this week. This will be the third week of residency. Yeah, it's like 2.5 weeks finished. And the end of June, this is that time when all residents start up again, or all interns start really for like the first time. And it's kind of the thing people talk about, interns being in the hospital and all of us making a lot of decisions for the first time as doctors. And it's a exciting and scary time for a lot of us. So we're still in our introductory block in my residency. So what we did this past week, we did some interesting trainings. We did something on intimate partner violence, which was great. Talking about situations a lot of our patients will be going through and what are the resources for them, what we can do to try to help them. That was a big one. We had a derm workshop where we kind of worked on a lot of suturing techniques on the models, and that was really good to kind of hone in our knot tying and everything like that. We had a M&M for medicine, morbidity and mortality, and I'm trying to remember exactly all those things that we talked about. Yeah, we had that session. We had didactics. We had a pediatrician that had like a case presentation that was really good, and some trainings in the didactics course. We had a couple meetings with our chiefs, like our R3 residents, chiefs that kind of went through a bunch of stuff, just trying to make sure that we know kind of what's expected of us and are available for any questions. They're great. They really are there for us, and it was great to have those few meetings. And we actually we're starting to have our own personal meetings with them, and we can always reach out to them, which is great. It's great to have great leadership and people that you can count on if you need something, if you have questions, especially in this transition for all of us. It's just kind of, it's new, and we're trying to figure things out and what the best way for us to do things and to be doctors in general. We had a obstetrics, morbidity, mortality morning, which was, there's a lot of interesting cases on a lot of things that I think about, if I'm really considering to do obstetrics in my practice. It's a big responsibility. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, and something to really think about. The cases that we went through, a lot of times there's situations you can't control what's going to happen, or you can't really always prepare for something that comes, and you try your best basically. And those meetings are great because we can kind of look at the cases and look at, okay, what could we have done different, or maybe there is something we could have done different, or what do we do good too, and to kind of talk about it. And it's really good. We had a little bit of for my co-intern and I, we did a little bit more training at our clinic site just to make sure that we're ready for clinic, because we actually did have clinic. We had our own patients this past week, and we're on the EHR of Allscripts, so we wanted to put a little extra time in there because we haven't had experience personally with Allscripts, and we want to make sure that we're as ready as we could for when patients came in, so we can make sure we're moving in a timely fashion, and that way people aren't waiting too much on us, and as we're clicking through things, and which is interesting because it's more of the just logistics and business. And now, as residents, we're like we're learning and we're asking questions, but a lot of it is just like how to be a doctor, and like billing and knowing your resources and what you can do, when to ask for help, all those kinds of things we're learning. And just making sure that we can really be there for our patient, make sure we are able to set an agenda and be able to accomplish something great in a visit, I think is the art of especially primary care and medicine in general, is just being able to really hone it in and be like, this is what's important, this is what I can do now, and how do we move forward, what can we address later, what's vitally important that we need to do right now. I think those are great. I had a great weekend with family. My significant other was able to come down. We had some time together. A lot of people know Misty. She got to come for a few days. She came technically early morning yesterday and spent time yesterday and today. The big probably highlight for me in general, besides all seeing my patients for the first time this week, was going to the Kalama Heritage Festival in Kalama, Washington. So when I was able to pick her up at SeaTac Airport, we made our way that way, which is like a couple hours. And basically this whole festival is about kind of my mission that I talk about, which I'll share the link again, like with my introductory video, building the connection between all our indigenous communities, especially with our Pacific Islanders and Native Americans, as you know, those are the groups I identify with. And really, there's a big, strong history of that in Kalama, Washington. I can actually put a link in the description too of the festival that just finished up today. They do it yearly, and I was trying to meet some people. I got a shirt and gave some people my card for, you know, where I'm at in training and maybe ways that I can kind of get involved. And a lot of times in residency, you'll have like a QI project, like quality improvement, and that's something I definitely would want to do because that's something that's going on. That's exactly what I want to do, and I want to be able to help and improve it or see what I can contribute and learn from it for myself. So those are probably the big highlights. And just want to say thank you for anyone that's able to watch this, and please continue to spread it, like it, subscribe. Indigenous Minded. It's starting to pick up. We're getting towards the end of our, you know, we're halfway, I guess, in our introductory block, and we're just trying to prepare ourselves for our first, you know, rotations coming up. So for mine, that's coming up. It's going to be outpatient pediatrics, and there's things that I'm trying to like prepare myself for and study for, and just kind of making sure I try to do as much as I can in life in general while I have these last few weeks in this introductory block. I think I've been happy. I've been able to spend a lot of time with family, and that's been great for me. And yeah, and I think those are the big things that I wanted to hit up. But yeah, so please continue to spread this and let me know if there's anything you'd like to hear, talk about, and thanks for watching. And keep it mission minded, keep it indigenous minded. Mahalo.